The first thing that stands out in episode 10 trailer is the weight hanging over everything. There is no sense of relief anywhere, only consequences catching up to people who thought they were untouchable. Tommy's firing sits at the center of it all, and the trailer makes it very clear that this isn't just about a job, this is about identity. Tommy has spent his entire life being the guy who keeps things from blowing up, the guy who understands risk but respects it. Now he's been cut loose by the very machine he helped build, and you can feel how destabilizing that is for him. The trailer frames him not as a man licking his wounds, but as someone quietly recalculating. There's a heaviness in his presence, like he's standing at the edge of something dangerous, deciding whether to step back or lean in. And knowing this show, leaning in usually comes with a cost. At the same time, Cammy looks more isolated than ever. All season long, she has been chasing that adrenaline rush, convincing herself that boldness equals strength. In the trailer, that confidence starts to look thinner. She's surrounded by people, meetings, noise, but none of it feels reassuring. If anything, it feels like the walls are closing in. Her decision to fire Tommy was supposed to free her, to remove doubt from the equation, but episode 10 hints that doubt was the only thing keeping disaster at bay. The offshore project looms over every shot connected to her, no longer as a symbol of ambition, but as a ticking clock. The trailer doesn't show failure outright, but it doesn't need to. The tension comes from knowing how fragile everything becomes when experience is replaced by ego. Cooper's storyline takes a much darker turn in this sneak peek, and honestly, it's hard to watch. The trailer doesn't let you forget what he did, even if it doesn't linger on the violence itself. Instead, it focuses on the aftermath, the silence after the sirens, the looks, the realization that one instinctive act may have just erased everything he worked for. Cooper has always been positioned as the future, the one with potential, the one who could rise without becoming cruel. Episode 10 challenges that idea directly. The trailer suggests that no matter how justified his actions felt in the moment, the system won't see it that way. And worse, neither will Cammy. With Tommy gone, Cooper is no longer protected by anyone who truly understands him. What once looked like a promotion arc now feels like a free fall. Angela and Ansley's world also starts to wobble in ways they're clearly not prepared for. The trailer subtly reminds us that their comfort has always been borrowed, funded by money they didn't earn and stability they didn't secure. There's an unease in the way Angela moves, like she senses what's coming but refuses to fully face it. Episode 10 seems ready to strip away the illusion that problems can always be solved with money or control. For the first time, the possibility of real loss hangs over them, and the question isn't whether Angela will fight it, but who she'll turn against when she does. Love has limits in this show, and money has always tested them. What makes the trailer so effective is that it doesn't promise explosions or chaos outright. Instead, it promises pressure. Every character looks like they're being squeezed by the choices they made earlier in the season. There's no clean villain here, no single mistake to point at, just a series of decisions that made sense at the time, now lining up to collide. Episode 10 is shaping up to be less about shocking twists and more about watching people realize, too late, that the ground beneath them was never solid. And if this trailer is any indication, the finale isn't asking who will win, it's asking who will survive what's coming next.
As the trailer moves forward, the focus slowly shifts from individual fallout to the larger machine that is Mtex. And this is where episode 10 starts to feel genuinely dangerous. Without Tommy, the company looks exposed in a way it never has before. Meetings feel colder, decisions feel rushed. The trailer repeatedly hints that no one left in the room truly knows how to slow things down anymore. Cammy's leadership style, which once looked bold and visionary, now feels reactive. She is constantly responding instead of anticipating, and in an industry where anticipation is everything, that is terrifying. There's a moment in the sneak peek where her confidence doesn't come across as strength, but stubbornness, like she's already too far in to admit she might be wrong. And that's usually the last stop before something breaks. The offshore drilling project, which was treated like a victory just one episode ago, now feels like a looming threat. The trailer uses silence around it very deliberately. No celebration, no reassurance, just machinery, water, and the sense that if something goes wrong, there will be no one capable of fixing it quickly. Tommy's absence isn't loud, but it's everywhere. You feel it in the hesitation of others, in the way conversations trail off, in the lack of grounding presence. Episode 10 seems ready to answer a question the show has been asking all season. What happens when the person who knows how to keep things from exploding is no longer allowed in the room? Meanwhile, Cooper's legal trouble begins to bleed into every part of his life. The trailer suggests that what happened at the Patch Cafe won't stay contained to that moment. There's an unspoken fear that follows him, the kind that comes from realizing your future is no longer yours to plan. His relationship with Ariana suddenly feels fragile, not because of love, but because stability is slipping away. Cooper wanted control. He wanted authority. Episode 10 shows the cost of taking power without fully understanding the responsibility that comes with it. And with Cammy already viewing risk as weakness, Cooper may find himself standing alone at the exact moment he needs support the most.
The emotional core of the trailer deepens when it turns back to Tommy, not as a fired executive, but as a husband and a father. Episode 10 hints that the real consequences of his firing won't be felt in boardrooms, but at home. The comfort Angela and Ensley have been living in suddenly looks fragile, almost temporary, like it could vanish overnight. There's tension in the quiet moments shown between them, the kind that comes from unspoken fear. Angela, especially, looks like someone doing mental math, trying to figure out how long denial can last. The trailer doesn't show confrontation directly, but it heavily implies it's coming. Angela has always avoided discomfort by overpowering it, but this time, money might not be enough to make the problem disappear. What's interesting is how Episode 10 seems ready to challenge the emotional contracts these characters have made with each other. Love, loyalty, and partnership are all tested when security is removed. Tommy has always been steady, patient, willing to absorb pressure for the sake of others. The trailer raises the unsettling possibility that he may finally stop doing that. There's a shift in him, subtle but important, like someone realizing that sacrificing himself hasn't actually protected anyone. If Tommy chooses himself for once, the ripple effects could be massive, not just for his family, but for Mtex as a whole. Dan's presence in the sneak peek adds another layer of unease. He has lingered on the edges all season, driven by obsession rather than skill, and Episode 10 hints that his moment may finally arrive at the worst possible time. The trailer frames him as someone watching, waiting, ready to step into chaos if it benefits him. If the offshore project starts to fail, Dan doesn't feel like the kind of person who would help stabilize things. He feels like the kind who would exploit the collapse. And if that happens, Cammy's decision to ignore Tommy's warnings may come back to haunt her faster than she expects. The first thing that stands out in Episode 10 trailer is the weight hanging over everything. There is no sense of relief anywhere, only consequences catching up to people who thought they were untouchable. Tommy's firing sits at the center of it all, and the trailer makes it very clear that this isn't just about a job, this is about identity. Tommy has spent his entire life being the guy who keeps things from blowing up, the guy who understands risk but respects it. Now he's been cut loose by the very machine he helped build, and you can feel how destabilizing that is for him. The trailer frames him not as a